Hey guys, the very first Legends of Runeterra patch is happening. Well, the biggest patch is happening right now. And I'm going to be going down the card changes and explaining to you why some are happening and kind of just theory crafting of potential new decks and potential playstyles which could come with the buffs and the nerfs and what I think is going to be very, very strong, what I think maybe still needs to be nerfed. So we're starting off by looking at Lux. Lux is getting her power changed from 3 to 4 and her health changed from 4 to 5. And I completely agree with this. You know, she's a 6 cost unit, and her power being 3, I feel was a little bit lackluster, and her health being 4 made her very susceptible to just a lot of early game spells, combining that with a lot of even mid-game suppression. Her being a 6 cost unit, honestly, was so weak. Her leveling up to a 5-6 unit is going to make her exceptionally strong. Not to mention combining that with her barrier as well. It's going to make her just pop off really hard. Make people start playing a deck around her rather than her being just the extra Demacian champion you throw in there because you don't want another Garen, you know. It even says here, Lux's weaker state line made it a little too difficult to utilize her as a leech pin. Build around me card. Yeah, she was never a build around me card. Buffing her stats will help her ability to both stick around as an engine and act as a meaningful threat on her own. Yeah, so like obviously everybody has decks focused around certain champions. I myself build an entire deck around Heimerdinger. It's very hard with Lux being such a weak card, but costing so much, you can't build around her. So Heimerdinger obviously is a weak card, but you get the efficiency back from putting the spells in him. You know, you keep him there, you protect him. Where Lux is a little bit different, and this should bring her kind of into fruition and maybe see some Lux decks going forward. Going down to Yaz. So while this now only changes internally, we found that Yaz was catching collateral damage from changes aimed at elusive and hand buff decks. Inspire Mentor is one of the best cards utilized while leveling up Yaz, and together with Deny would provide pivotal protection. We'll get onto that. There's changes to Deny and so on. We'll talk about that after. So they're changing that in order for him to level up, you just have to stun or recall one less unit. So it's not a big change, but combining that with all the other things implemented into this patch, it probably will affect Yaz a lot more, and you might start seeing a lot more stun and recall kind of orientated decks. Like I feel like Yaz was actually a pretty strong champion. You know, he's a 4-cost unit, he's a 4-3, and he has quick attack built into that as well. Him leveling up with 5 instead of 6 can mean that he'll be a lot more efficient when combined with a lot of follower orientated cards with stun built into them. Because I know there is, I don't know exactly the name of them, but there are cards in there which do double stuns. We have Yawn as well. I think Yawn the Wanderer. You know, late game dropping Yawn with Yaz could be absolutely devastating. So now we're moving on to followers and spells. We just spoke about the champion changes. So we have Lux, we have Yaz. They're the only champions getting touched this patch. I feel like, you know, there are champions out there which are a little bit underpowered in some shape or form. I feel like Heimer's really strong, but he is going to be hit pretty hard with these denied nerfs and stuff. As well as that, I feel like Vladimir could have a little bit of a change as well. But that's just me. Comment below, guys, if there's any specific champion you want to see buffed or specifically nerfed. So the first change is back-to-back. Back-to-back's getting changed from a 5 to a 6. Yeah, this is a really strong card. It gives allies +3/+3. And even says here, one of the things we love about lore is that combat tricks are very playable in our constructed format, which really contributes to compelling interactive gameplay moments. That said, back-to-back can be a huge blowout. Burst speed, it's a burst card, guys, which is disgusting. It's burst speed trick that often leaves opponents without profitable avenues for playing around it. Yeah, like sometimes there's no counter whenever somebody plays back-to-back, especially combining that with an elusive card. It's annoying. Moving down to Arena Battlecaster. Arena Battlecaster's getting his health increased from 1 to 2. Increasing any card from 1 to 2 health is a big buff, because there's a lot of cards out there which can do like 1 damage. Whether it be playing a follower or you playing a spell. And doing this, it means you're going to have to spend probably the same amount of mana to get rid of him. So obviously you can use a Mystic Shot, which costs 2, or a Get Excited, which costs 3, to get rid of a 2-cost unit rather than spending very little mana to do 1 damage and maybe get like a Spider Lane or whatever you're going to be doing. So I feel that, yeah, this is actually a pretty good buff for Arena Battlecaster. It's not something I usually play around, but this being said, we might start seeing a lot more Noxian decks, because obviously we're seeing some Noxian cards getting buffed. Crimson Curator. Crimson Curator's getting his health increased to 3 instead of 2. Battle Scar decks have been underperforming, and the Noxus side of the theme has been a bit one-dimensional. Improving Crimson Curator should increase both options and viability for these decks. Yeah, like, it's something I have not seen a lot of is Noxian-orientated decks. Like, Noxian cards are cards people are orientating around other decks, like Shadow Isle decks and things like that. But there's no real heart of a deck orientated around a Darius or a Draven. I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one which really, really works. They're definitely out there, but they're not popular. I think it's because of cards like this being a little bit lackluster in comparison to a lot of fearsome units, or a lot of units which have last breath, or mana efficient units, or like things like Ionian units which stun and so on. So this is going to hopefully bring a lot more Noxian presence back into the game. Deny, I'm a little bit torn with this. So Deny is the strongest card in the game for me personally. You know, somebody plays 7-cost spell, Deny. Somebody plays a 5-cost spell, Deny. You try and touch my Heimerdinger, Deny. You use Deny on me, Deny. We just throw denies at each other, and this is going to hopefully stop, like, late game, me playing a Deny, you playing a Deny, me playing a Deny, you playing a Deny, and it just goes on like that. Obviously it is an Ionian card, but if you're not playing against an Ionian deck, you know they're not going to have Deny. But this is going to hurt me personally being a Heimerdinger deck player, because I try and play Heimerdinger as a 5-cost unit, have 3 mana in the bank. I have Deny there to potentially get rid of anything that's going to get thrown at him in that entire round. I can't protect him with Deny anymore. I'm going to have to wait until I have potentially 6 mana, and then, or 9 mana in total, 3 in the bank for my spell, play Heimer, who's a 5-cost unit, have 4 in the bank, potentially play Deny. But obviously there's going to be a lot of cards out there which could potentially be a lot more mana efficient at taking them out, so you might see a lot of Heimer decks slowly decline due to this Deny nerf. But I think it definitely needed done. Inspiring Mentor. I actually haven't seen this change yet. Inspiring Mentor health has been increased. Old text was when you play a card, when you play this card, you get an ally in hand +1. New text, grant an ally in hand +1/0. Oh yeah, so it used to be +1/+1, now it's +1/0. Yeah, Inspire Mentor is really, really strong, especially combining that with recall cards. So it says here, Navori Conspirator. So people used to play Inspire Mentor, play an elusive card, then they would recall Inspire Mentor, then would play it again, and they would buff another Navari Conspirator in their deck or in their hand, and they would play it and then recall it again, and you would constantly keep buffing whoever was in your hand +1/+1. I personally didn't really have an issue with that, because I used to just get excited and get rid of the Navori Conspirators, or I would kind of just play around it. And the thing is, him constant recalling, I feel that if you have an anti-elusive deck, which you should, it's an elusive meta, you shouldn't have had a problem with it anyway. But Inspire Mentor making him 1/2 with that in mind is actually pretty good, because it means if you're playing like a 1/1 cost unit at level 1, or like a Spiderling or something like that, it means that he's going to be able to tank it and then still be alive for the next round. So I like that. I like that change. Jewel Protector, Jewel Protector I always thought was a very lackluster card. Obviously it grants an ally in hand +3/+3, but I felt that it was only a 3/3 card. So playing a 5-cost card, which is going to be 3/3. Obviously you're going to be buffing whatever's in hand, but most of the time, whenever you're playing a 5-cost card late into the game, it's going to get absolutely obliterated as soon as you play it, whether it be blocking with like a 3/2 unit, which maybe costs 2 mana, or even a 3-cost spell card. So yeah, I like this change. Moving down to Kenku Lifeblade. Kenku Lifeblades, thank God, man. Like, Kenku Lifeblades are the bane of my existence. Like, it's an elusive meta, and it's an elusive lifesteal. So people will play Kenku Lifeblade, and then start playing Barrier around him, and then eventually they just would never die. They would never die. So I like this change from 3 to 2 health. Even though I do play Kenku Lifeblade myself, I feel that I benefit more to this nerf than I would. I benefit to this nerf more than I would lose. Commander Ledros, guys. Commander Ledros is so goddamn strong, and he is a disgusting card. I made a video talking about Commander Ledros and showing him off way before actually Legends of Runeterra was released, and for good reason. Commander Ledros is the strongest card in the game that is not a champion. It's true. It 100% is. He cuts the enemy Nexus's health in half. And anybody who can do that is disgusting. The fact that he was an 8 cost card, not a 9 cost card, is wild. Is actually wild. But to combat this, they've made his power more to make him more of an attacker. He's fearsome as well. And he goes back to your hand. So if you've never ever played Commander Ledros before, you've never came against it, then God help you, and you're also missing out, because it was a really, really, really strong card. And it still is. It's really, really strong. So they've made his cost 9, his power 9, and instead of cutting the enemy Nexus, yeah, this is where it's a really, really good change. So if it cut the enemy's Nexus in half, it would always run down. So you could even play him. You could even play him at 1 Nexus, 1 Nexus health, and you would win the game, because he would cut it in half, and somehow half of 1 is 0, but it isn't. Half of 1 is not. So, but it really, really, really was a much needed change. It was a much needed change. There you go, Blade of Ledros. This is what happens whenever you play him. Old text, cut the enemy Nexus health in half, cut the enemy Nexus health in half, rounded up. So it's always going to be rounded up, not rounded down, which is good. It's not going to be constantly a battle of who's going to play their Ledros first, because if you have a Ledros and they have a Ledros, it's just seeing who is going to get it down and who's going to deny the other person's Blade of Ledros, because you can use deny in this. So, but oh, there's more. There's more. I was about to say, Wrath of the Sunderer change as well. Wrath of the Sunderer change. Wrath of the Sunderer is also disgusting. The fact that you can have Rasa in one round, and in the next round you can play Commander Ledros, is wild. And again, this is a 7 cost unit, and this was an 8 cost unit. So Rasa getting changed is insane. And again, whenever he plays, he kills the 2 weakest enemies if an ally died that round. So combining that with a Shadow Isles deck, you can kill like a 1 cost Spiderling, and then play Rasa right after if you have potentially 9 mana in total. That's like, or sorry, yeah, 9 mana in total, because he was 7 and you would have had 2 in the bank. It was disgusting. So I'm glad the Shadow Isles is getting a little bit of a nerf, because it is a Shadow Isles elusive meta, and I want to slowly see like the tide of the meta turn over the next couple months and next few patches. Scuttlegeist, we're removing some raw power from Shadow Isles with our other changes, as I just said. It's just doing so many things too well. On the other hand, we want to help players build more synergy-driven Shadow Isle decks, so we're providing small buffs to Scuttlegeist. Okay, so they're just giving Scuttlegeist Fearsome, which I feel is pretty good. And the way you play Scuttlegeist is reduce the cost for each ally that's died this game. So it couples really, really well into that of an early game Shadow Isles deck. So if you're playing something like ephemeral cards, or if you're playing something along the lines of like even one cost Spiderlings, like an Elise deck or something like that, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Torture Prodigy, when an ally dies, refill your when an ally dies, refill your spell mana. I've actually never played this card before, and I've never even came against it. Maybe because it was a 5 cost unit and the power was 3/4. Like, there's so many cards out there which are so bad that you never see them because people never ever play them, and this was one of them. So maybe it being a 4/4 will eventually be viable. And this is one of the things which I don't agree on. Wraithcaller has been a dominant value card for fearsome base decks. Oh wait, no, I thought they were buffing this. I saw this at an early stage and they were buffing Wraithcaller, so they're not buffing Wraithcaller. Thank God, man. Yeah, like Wraithcaller decks and Mistwraith decks are absolutely disgusting. They're like an Elise deck but better. You don't need a champion to actually snowball with it. So the combination of the two bodies, boosting all Mistwraiths and evasion, made this among the most efficient cards in lore. Yeah, you play Wraithcaller and you get a Mistwraith. You play a 4 cost unit. It's a 4/3 and maybe like a 3/3 as well, or a 4/3. It was, I would say, one of the stronger follower cards in the game, which was pre 8 or 7 mana. Considering the free Mistwraith already comes with Fearsome, putting the keyword from Wraithcaller to reduce the amount of evasion and overall value it puts in the board. Okay, well that's actually a good change. I actually saw this change on early stages, and they were going to be making it a 4/4 and removing Fearsome, but they're just removing Fearsome and keeping it a 4/3. And I feel like that's completely viable because Mistwraith is a free card. You know, if you're playing a Shadow Isles deck, you're 95% of the time going to get a Mistwraith in there. You might have like a random Ionian spell or something mad, whatever you're rocking, and you're not going to get a Mistwraith, but tough shit. And that is all of the card changes coming in the new Legends of Runeterra patch, guys. There are a lot of other changes, which I'm not going to go over. I'm going to put the link to the patch notes in the description. You can read about it. I'm not going to go through like expedition changes, XP changes, shard changes, UI changes, FPS changes. These are the things that you need to know. These are the big things which are going to impact your gameplay. And again, comment below if there's any champion or any card you think needs a little bit of a buff or a little bit of a nerf. And make sure you guys do like, make sure you guys do subscribe. It's free to do so, and it really does help me out, and it makes me aware that you guys are enjoying the content. But until next time, bros, take it easy. Peace out, and good luck on the Rift.
Coming waves across the shore. Oh, maybe